Hey everybody, it's Wendy Perry, and I hope this is working. I'm using my laptop, and I usually use my phone or my iPad to do a Facebook Live. So I can see that Cheryl just joined and Melba, so it looks like it's working. I want to ask, can you guys hear me? Because I don't know about my microphone on this. So can you give me a thumbs up or let me know if you can hear me. I just want to make sure that my microphone is working okay. Hi, Deborah, Karen, Gil, TJ. So can you guys hear me okay? Thumbs up. All right, thanks. Okay, I'm going to take that as a yes that you can hear me. So usually when I do a Facebook Live, I've given quite a bit of thought to what I'm going to say. And honestly, today, I just have a lot in my heart that I want to talk about, but I haven't really scripted it out or thought it through too much. So I'm just going to speak from the heart, and I hope that by the time I'm done, I've said something that has given you some food for thought, and even more so, I hope that it motivates and inspires you to do the right thing. And at the end, we'll talk about the right thing to do. So I want to talk to you about parental alienation today. And in particular, I want to share a story with you about one of my friends. This has really been heavy on my heart for a few months. This is a friend of mine that I see on a daily basis, actually. And so I want to tell you her story, and I won't use any names, but the reason I want to share her story is because it's a real life example of parental alienation happening right now at this time. And when you hear her story, you might think it sounds kind of extreme, but truthfully, it's not. Unfortunately, it's pretty typical for parental alienation. So I want to share her story with you. So this friend of mine was married for a very, very long time, over 20 years. And it wasn't a very good marriage. Her husband was very neglectful of her and very neglectful of their marriage. She literally cannot remember the last time that he said, "I love you" to her. And besides being neglectful and uninterested in her and in the marriage, he has kept some really big secrets from her over the years. Very, very big secrets that a spouse should not keep from another spouse. Many times over the last several years, she has gone to him and asked him if he would go to counseling. And she told him that she would like to make their marriage better. And he told her no. He had no interest in going to counseling. He had no interest in trying to improve their marriage. And he was very clear about that. And she asked him many times. So she came to the conclusion that, as he said, he never wanted to make the marriage better. He had no interest in improving their marriage. So she decided to work on herself. She started going to some support groups at some churches. One of the groups was for divorce care because she could see that she was either going to stay miserable or they were going to get a divorce. So another group that she went to was just a group that anybody can go to just to improve their confidence, to let go of, some hurt and some pain. So some people call it a freedom class, something to that effect. So she went to several classes, got very involved, and she really worked on herself. And she has the benefit, I guess you could say, to see me almost every day. And so she had a direct connection to talk to somebody about parental alienation. And so I prepared her for what to look for, the signs of parental alienation. because I knew, based on what she had told me about her husband, that it was a good possibility. It sounds highly likely that he is a narcissist. And so I shared with her the signs of parental alienation, what to look for, what to do, what not to do. And so, and I gave her some books to read, which are behind me here. So she's really an amazing lady. And she really prepared herself very, very well. And she got strong. She got educated and she got strong. And I'm really, really proud of her. So once she felt like she was strong enough, she filed for divorce. And sure enough, very quickly, all of her kids started acting like they hated her and they didn't want to talk to her. They were very, very angry with her. And her husband showed them the filing for divorce. And the kids said things like this: "Really, Mom? You got a restraining order on Dad? Why did you have to do that to Dad? You know, he's not dangerous, right?" So he showed them the court documents, the petition for divorce with the temporary restraining order. When most of us know, but kids don't know, that that's just standard operating procedure. When you file for a divorce, that goes with the divorce papers. And it's to protect the other parent from things like one of them taking all of the money and hiding it. It's for certain protections, and it's not to say that that person is a danger to anyone. But of course, that's what he told the kids. Your mom filed a restraining order against me. Well, that sounds horrible to the kids, made them feel very angry towards their mom. But again, this was something that he showed them and he told them. They also started saying things like, "Mom, why don't you just go away and don't try to take all of Dad's money? You know, there's a lot of times when he didn't even give himself a paycheck because he owns his own company." Well, they're saying some adult thing that they were told to make them feel angry towards their mom. And how would they know that, right? He told them that to try to make them feel angry towards their mom, try to make them feel upset towards their mom. And other things like, because of this, now I won't be able to pay for your college. I won't be able to pay for your rent at college. I won't be able to help you buy that new car that I said I would help you with. A lot of things to make them feel like because of their mom, it was going to cause them a terrible hardship in their life, and it was her fault. And not only was it going to cause them a terrible hardship, but she was doing something really mean to their dad. So I want to talk to you if you are a preteen or a teenager or a young adult or an adult of any age. If one of your parents is saying things to you or showing you things that makes you feel like you should be angry or upset with your other parent, that's what we call an alienating behavior. If you can see that they're trying to make you not want to talk to the other parent, if they're trying to make you reject the other parent, to not see the other parent, to not talk to the other parent, what they're doing to you is wrong. That's not love. If they're not letting you love your other parent, then that is wrong, and that is not love. People who love you let you love both of your parents, and they let you talk to and see and love both sides of your family. That's not love. besides saying things like, your parent did this, they said this, or showing you things, they might show you all kinds of things like court documents. I know one parent that was so vicious and so unstable, I guess I would say, that they showed pictures of people to their kids and said, your other parent is having affairs with these people. And it was a lie. This other parent wasn't having affairs. And it was horrifying. The children were really young. And one of the children said, I don't even know what that means. And then in graphic detail, the alienating parent described what that meant. And it was very traumatizing to the child, as you can imagine. And it has stayed with them to this day, many, many years later. But besides saying things and showing you things, your other parent might just let you know that if you love or talk to or see your other parent, they will reject you and they will be very angry with you, and that will be a betrayal to them. What are some other things that a parent might say or do that would try to prevent you from having a relationship with your other parent? Well, one thing is bribery. Bribery is really big, especially if you are a teenager or a young adult. You're at an age in your life where you want certain things, right? You want to go to college. Maybe you are dependent on that parent helping pay your rent, like I said before. Maybe they promised you a car. Maybe you're really into fashion and you're like, I want my cute clothes, whatever it is, right? Bribery is very, very, it's a very common tool used by who we call the alienating parent. They can even go so far as to bribe you with employment, with a job. Maybe they hire you, or they have a friend who can hire you, and they pay you really, really well with lots of great perks and benefits. But all of these things come with a price, right? And the price is you can't talk to or see your other parent. They might tell you or imply with snarky comments or maybe just body language. They might imply to you or say to you that, boy, if you talk to your other parent, I don't know, I don't know about your job, or gosh, I heard you talk to your other parent, and I can't really help you with your rent this month. It's related, right? Those things that they're bribing you with are all, the condition is you don't talk to or see or love your other parent. Again, that's wrong. That's not love. If they're withholding things from you, if they're trying to hurt you just so you won't see or talk to the other parent, that's not love. That's not love. So I want to say that sometimes who we call the alienated parent, that's the rejected parent, the one that you're not talking to, you're not seeing, you're not having a relationship with, sometimes they do make mistakes, because we all make mistakes, right? All parents make mistakes. We all do. Sometimes we just make little everyday mistakes. Sometimes we make big mistakes. We really mess up. But all parents do. And in a normal, healthy family dynamic, the other parent will encourage you to talk to that parent and to work it out and to try to work through it and try to forgive your other parent, because they love you and they want you to have a relationship with the other parent. Now, if you're dealing with parental alienation, that's not what the other parent will say. They will say, can you believe your parent did that? Can you believe they did that thing to you? you should never forgive them for that. Never, ever, ever. You should never talk to them again. Now, it might not even be your alienated parent. It might be their spouse, might be a step parent, or somebody that they're close to, but they will make it what Dr. Childress calls an unforgivable mistake. So Dr. Craig Childress is one of the top parental alienation experts in the world. And at the Parental Alienation Symposium this last April in Dallas, he talked about the unforgivable mistake, which is where your alienated or your target parent makes a mistake. And if you're an alienated child, you say, well, that's it. You know, my parent did this thing. I cannot forgive this. This is unforgivable. Now I will never, ever, ever speak to them again, ever. And my husband, Rob, and I, we interviewed Dr. Childress for a documentary that we're making. And Dr. Childress, and actually several experts that we interviewed, talked about this phenomenon, the unforgivable mistake. And a question that counselors and therapists will ask alienated kids, again, I want to just remind you, an alienated kid can be any age. You can be young, a teenager, you can be an adult. As long as the control and manipulation is still there, you will still be alienated. And when I say you're a kid or a child, I don't mean an age. Like, I'm my mother and daughter's, my mom and dad's child. You know, I'm 53, so you'll always be, you know, their child. But anyway, what these counselors and therapists do is they ask alienated children, okay, well, your parent made this one mistake. So if we had a magic wand and we could wave this magic wand and make this horrible thing go away that they did, then you would see them and talk to them, right? And the alienated child always says, well, no, I still wouldn't. No, I mean, I wouldn't. No. Even if it was magically erased, if it was gone, what if they fell on their knees and begged your forgiveness? No, never. Because what it is that unforgivable mistake is just an excuse, right? It's just the most recent excuse to reject and not talk to your alienated parent. Now, again, if your other parent was really loving and really wanted to love you, they would tell you, you know, you need to talk to your other parent. You need to work this out. I know they made a mistake, but we all do. And they're half of who you are. That's your other parent. You know, you need to talk to them and work this out. But an alienating parent will say, yeah, no, you need to never talk to them again. Never, ever, ever. Can you believe they did that? And they will keep reinforcing that. And they'll get other people on board too, right? They'll get other family members on board, and they'll get their friends on board. And pretty soon you'll have a whole lot of people talking about how horrible your alienated parent is. They're so terrible. And they'll back your alienating parent. They'll say, you know, you're right to keep them from that other parent. But that's not love. It's not love. So another thing that alienating parents will do is they might even ask you in front of other people, do you want to see your other parent? And they'll make it seem like they're giving you a choice, right? Let's take Thanksgiving, for example. Maybe if you're a child in this position, again, a child of any age, maybe you spent Thanksgiving with your alienating parent, your parent who is trying to damage or destroy your relationship with your other parent. And maybe there was a whole group of people there, and they might have said to you or asked you in front of everyone, do you want to go see your other parent today? Now, to everyone else in the room, it sounds like they're giving you a choice, right? They're asking you, and they're not putting a spin on, you know, the tone of their voice. They're asking you, do you want to go see your other parent today? So it sounds like you've got your own free will to decide. But you know in your heart what the right answer is. You know the right answer is to say, no. Oh, no, I don't want to see them. No. Now, how do I know that? Well, I know that because I know a lot of children of parental alienation. I know a lot of people who were very severely alienated as teenagers and young adults, and they'll tell you that this trick was played upon them many times, where they would get asked in front of people, do you want to see your other parent? And they all say, I knew the right answer was no. Now, they said inside, they were thinking, of course I want to go see my mom or my dad. I'm dying inside. I love them. You won't let me see them or talk to them. Of course I want to go see them. That's what they were thinking inside. But they knew the right thing to say was, no, I don't want to see them. No, I don't want to talk to them. Again, not love. Again, I want to tell you, a parent who loves you will want you to freely love and enjoy and have relationships with your other parent and with both sides of your family and with all of your grandparents and all of your aunts and uncles and cousins and friends on that other side of the family. So, what can we do about this? What can we do about this? Well, that's the biggest question that we all have. You know, that's what thousands of us are trying to figure out and we're fighting for, and, you know, looking for all the answers. And I feel like one of the things that can be done about this is that if you are an alienated child, especially if you're a teenager or a young adult or an adult of any age, you have to stand up for yourself. And I know it's hard, and I know it's scary, and I know that you probably have what is called catastrophic thinking, right? When you think about it, you might think, well, if I see my other parent, then my alienated parent, they're going to follow through on all of these threats. They're going to disown me. They're going to cut me off financially. If I'm employed by them, they're going to fire me. If they're paying for my college or for my rent, I'm going to end up with no life. My life will be ruined, right? So that's catastrophic thinking. That's thinking that the worst will happen. And the worst could happen. They might do that. I do know one amazing young lady who was completely alienated from her mom for all of her teenage years. Her name is Jamie Hart, and we've done some interviews together, and you can find some of our interviews online. That happened to her. She actually got disowned by her alienating parent. And you know what she says? She never regretted it for a minute. Never, ever regretted it. Because she was finally able to be free and to be herself and to love everybody that she wanted to love. She could love her mom and love all of her grandparents and love everybody that she wanted to. You see, people who love you, they want you to love. They don't want you to hate. They don't want you to hurt. They want you to feel happy inside, and they want you to feel loving inside. So that did happen to Jamie. She did get disowned, but she never, ever, ever regretted it. Ever. But for most alienated kids that stand up, it's not a catastrophe. And I know it's very, very scary. It's very hard. It's very stressful. But usually it doesn't end up in that worst case scenario. They usually don't get disowned. They don't get cut off. the threats are there, but they don't usually follow through with that. Now, nobody can make you a guarantee. I'm not making you a guarantee of any outcome at all if you stand up for yourself. Except I am going to tell you that the outcome will be that you'll finally get to be free and love both of your parents and be your authentic self, be your genuine self, be that kind and loving person that I know you are inside. You know, something that makes me so sad is that, especially when alienated kids are adults, they get labeled as horrible people, and I hate that. It makes me so upset when an alienated child is like in their late 20s or early 30s and they don't talk to their alienated or target parent. People will say, well, they're old enough to know better. They're just a horrible, disrespectful person. How dare they act that way to their parent? That makes me so upset, because I know in their heart they're not a horrible, disrespectful person. They're doing what they have to do to survive. But anyway, standing up for yourself. So let's talk about that, because there are some real things you can do to stand up for yourself. And it's very, very hard. I am not minimizing it at all. It's very difficult. But I will say, the sooner you do it, the better. And the more you start doing it, the easier it will get. And I know, because I know kids who have done this. Hi, Chris. It's good to see you here. So right now we've got Chris Gill watching, and I just want to tell you, if you're not familiar with Chris Gill, he's an alienated dad, and he writes some really beautiful songs about parental alienation. So I just want to give a shout out to Chris real quick. I'm glad that you're watching. So let's talk about these things that you can do if you are dealing with parental alienation. If you are dealing with one parent who is making you feel like you can't or you shouldn't talk to your other parent, if they're acting like they're going to reject you if you do, if they're acting like they're going to make your life worse if you talk to the other parent or see the other parent. So let's talk about some things that you can do, okay? Because if you have a really intentional, determined, alienating parent, they're probably not going to stop. This is something that you're going to have to deal with, unless at some point you decide to just end that relationship altogether, which I'm not encouraging you to do, you know, but you'll probably have to deal with alienating behaviors from them, unless you decide that you don't want to have a relationship with them, because you don't want to have a relationship with someone who is abusing you. I'm sorry, they are abusing you. Or someone who is trying to make your life hard, and they're trying to hurt you. And, you know, they're using you as a weapon to hurt other people. What a horrible thing. Again, not love, right? If somebody loves you, they don't use you as a weapon to try to hurt somebody else. And they certainly don't use you as a weapon to try to hurt your other parent who you're half of and you love. Not love. Okay, so like I said, didn't really kind of think this through today, just talking from my heart. So I hope that this is speaking to you in some way or helping you in some way. So here are some things that you can do if you are caught in the middle and you're dealing with the situation where one parent is trying to keep you from seeing or talking to your other parent. Okay. Again, this is for any age. Okay. So you might be in your 20s or 30s and you're still dealing with this and you're like, I just don't know what to do. Nobody teaches this. Okay. So one thing you can do is tell your parents very straightforwardly that it is not fair to expect you to choose between them. Tell your parents that you have the right to love both of them, and you will love and have relationships with both of them. Remind them that their adult problems are between them, and it is not appropriate to involve you in those adult problems. So it's not appropriate for, it wasn't appropriate for my friend's ex-husband to show the kids the court documents. It wasn't appropriate for him to tell the kids financial things. He told them those things to try to make them angry and not want to talk to their mom. That's not appropriate. And so you have the right to say, if one of your parents starts to talk to you about the other parent, or they start to show you something, and you know where it's going, right? They're like, let me show you this thing your mom put on Facebook now. Okay, very familiar with that one. Let me show you what they're doing now. Let me show you what they said now, or let me show you what their spouse said now. You have the right to say, no, I don't want to see it. And you shouldn't be showing me that. Why do you want to show me that? Why do you want to make me mad at my other parent? Why do you want to make me feel like I don't want to talk to my other parent? And you can tell them, no, thank you. I don't want to see that. That's between you and them. Okay? So just be very straightforward and let them know, I love you both. And I'm going to keep loving you both, and I'm going to keep having a relationship with both of you. And when you start to show me something or tell me something about my other parent that is to try to make me feel angry or upset with them, or like I don't want to talk with them, I don't want to see that. I know kids who do this on a regular basis. And it's hard, but I will tell you, it gets easier. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And eventually the alienator, hopefully, usually, will start doing that less and less, because they realize you're serious. Now you have to stick to this. Okay, you have to be consistent with this. Okay? The next thing you can do is you can come right out and say, I feel like you don't want me to love my other parent. Is that true? Do you not want me to love my mom? Do you not want me to love my dad? Just ask them straight out. Do you want me to hate my other parent? Do you not want me to ever have a relationship with them again? And see what they say. And you can ask them, will you still love me if I love my other parent? Will you still love me if I see my other parent? Will you still love me if I talk to my other parent? And you can tell them, it seems like you won't love me anymore if I talk to my other parent. And it seems like if I love my other parent or I talk to my other parent, you're going to do things to hurt me. Are you going to hurt me if I see my other parent or talk to my other parent? Are you going to do things to make my life hard just because I love them and I see them and I talk to them? It's a hard question to ask, but I think when you ask them that, they're really going to stop and see that you understand what they're doing. They're trying to use you as a weapon to hurt the other parent, and they're hurting you, and that's wrong. You can tell them, I feel like if I see my other parent or I talk to my other parent, you're going to be really disappointed in me. You're going to be really angry at me. I think you're going to punish me. And ask them, are you going to punish me if I see my other parent? Are you going to do something to me if I see my other parent or talk to my other parent? I would encourage you to ask them that question, see what they say. Because again, if they love you, they're going to say, no, I want you to see your other parent. I want you to talk to your other parent. And I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to do anything negative towards you if you see them or talk to them. Now, not only are they going to say that, they're going to make sure that you see and talk to the other parent. That's love. If one parent is always directing your attention to bad things about the other parent, if they never mention anything positive about your other parent, you can ask them, why are you telling me these things? Are you trying to get me to stop loving my other parent? See what they say. Open that conversation. Now, if you are under 18 and you're still in the situation where you are going to both of your parents' houses, or you're supposed to be going to both of your parents' houses, let's talk about that real briefly. Your alienating parent will probably give you all kinds of reasons and excuses why you should not go to your other parent's house. And those reasons can be very extreme. They can say or imply that your other parent is dangerous, right? So they might say things like, "Are you scared when you're there? I know you're scared. It's okay. You'll be back with us soon where you're safe." And they don't come right out and say the other parent's dangerous, but they imply it, right? Just like they probably always imply that your alienated parent is crazy, right? And they've told everybody you know that your other parent is crazy. You know, "Are you scared to be there? Because, they're kind of crazy." You know, I have a funny story about that. Not really funny, but I want to share this story. I know an alienated mom, and her ex-husband, one of his big things was to go around and tell everybody that she was crazy. And you'll hear this a lot. This is a very common thing that alienators do. They just label the other parent crazy. Well, one day, one of their kids was on the school bus, and another kid said to this child, "Your mom's crazy. Your dad told my parents," And this kid said, "Well, actually, my dad's the crazy one. My mom's not." So kids know they're just too afraid to stand up and to speak the truth. So I want to empower you to stand up and speak the truth. It's important to your happiness, and you deserve to be happy, and you deserve to be loved. So that's why we're talking about how this parental alienation is not love. If one parent is trying to keep you from loving the other parent, that is not love. But to get back to the schedule, like I said, your one parent might say or imply to you that the other parent is dangerous, they're unstable, so you shouldn't go to their house. But you'll probably hear frivolous, silly things too, like, it'll just be easier with your school schedule if you're always here. It'll be easier for your activities if you're just here. And you need to, again, be firm and tell your parent, "I'm committed to the schedule and I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to be with my other parent when I'm supposed to be, just like I'm going to be with you when I'm supposed to be." Okay, so you need to stand up for that. You need to stand up for your time with both of your parents. One thing you can do is when your parent starts bad-mouthing the other parent, you can just walk away and show that you don't want to hear it and you don't want to engage in it. And that's what we were talking about before. When they say, "Oh, let me tell you what your mom did now," or "Let me show you what your dad put on Facebook today." Something that they're going to show you to try to make you feel upset or angry at the other parent. You can say, "No, thank you. I don't want to see that. Please don't show me that. Why do you show me those things?" So I want to get back. That makes me want to circle back a little bit to if your alienated or targeted parent makes a mistake, okay, and you've got the right to be angry and upset if they make a mistake. Of course, you're a human. You can be upset with them. Okay, that's normal. But what's not normal is for your other parent to exaggerate and inflame that situation and to tell you that, like I said earlier, any mistake they make is unforgivable and therefore you should never see that other parent or talk to that other parent. A parent who loves you will say, I think they really messed up, but we're all human, we all make mistakes. And you need to see your other parent and talk to them and work it out. So, what else do I want to talk to you about? Like I said, I didn't really think this through. But, like I said, this has been heavy on my heart, watching my friend go through this. Her kids are just being horrible to her. And I'm really proud of her, though. I mean, she really was very, very well prepared. But I know most parents are not well prepared. And she's just been doing an amazing job. But it's really it's been hard for me to watch and see her every day, surprisingly, even though I talk to alienated parents every day. But, you know, it's bringing back a lot of feelings and memories for me to see her going through this. And it's really hard. And so I guess in summary, what I want to say is if one of your parents is saying things or showing you things or doing things to make you feel like you can't see the other parent, or you can't talk to the other parent, or you can't love the other parent, then that is not love. And it is wrong that they're doing that to you. And I want to encourage you to be strong and tell them very straight out, you know, I feel like you're trying to make me hate my other parent, and I love them. You know, they're half of me. And I know that, you know, you and mom or you and dad are not together anymore, and things didn't work out, and you might be really upset with each other. But if you love me, let me love both of you. And you deserve that. You deserve to, like I said, you deserve to have love in your life and to be able to love both of your parents, love all of your grandparents, love all of your cousins and friends. You deserve that. So I encourage you to stand up for your right to love both of your parents. And I like I said, I know it will be hard. It will be scary, especially the first few times you stand up for this, but it will get easier. And I also want to encourage you to know that you're not alone. This is an epidemic around the world. There are a lot of kids going through what you're going through, a lot of young adults going through this as well. And I encourage you to talk to a close, trusted friend about it, and perhaps talk to an adult that you trust. You know, maybe you want to reconnect with your alienated or targeted parent, and you're just so scared and you don't know what to do. Maybe go to another adult that you trust and ask them to help you. Say, you know, I really do. I want to talk to my other parent, but I'm so afraid. And ask for their help and explain to them what parental alienation is. And if you're an alienated child of any age and you're going through this and you need some help, please reach out to me. And I'm happy to send you some articles, tell you some books that you can read or that you can share with this trusted adult that you might talk to. You're not alone. There are a lot of people going through this, and there are a lot of experts who can help you. So, but really, you know, you're strong enough to do this. I know you're strong enough to do this. You're strong enough to say, I love both my parents, and I want to love both my parents, and I'm going to love both my parents. So you deserve that. And so I know you can do it, and there are a lot of people out here who want to support you and want to help you with this. On December 16th, we're going to have a support group meeting here in North Texas. So if you are an alienated parent, or if you're a therapist or a counselor or a social worker, or even if you are a young adult or an adult of any age and you're still dealing with parental alienation, we would love to have you come to the meeting. We're just going to talk about parental alienation and talk about how to cope with it, ways to reconnect. I am asking that everyone RSVP to me at my email, which is wendyarcher@rocketmail.com. Space is limited, so we won't be able to let anyone in who is not RSVP'd, so you must RSVP. I also wanted to let you know that my blog is coming back. You might have noticed that my blog disappeared a few weeks ago. We had a little technical problem with that, unfortunately. So starting from scratch with that. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but it's almost up again. So be looking for that. And we're actually going to have a new address for that, website address, and it's www.targetparent.com. So on my blog, I will be putting resources and articles. So check that out. And I'm going to look at some of these messages. Okay, so Annie Rosini says there are many online support groups for adults. Is there one for children's and teens yet? Maybe overseen by an expert. Annie, yes, there is. If you will reach out to my friend Joan Zenard, she has a group, an online support group for teens, and she it's a private group, and so contact her. You can find her on Facebook. Again, it's Joan Zenard. She's had that group for quite a while. So yes, there is that resource. And let me see if I can scroll up and see any of these other questions. Hi, TJ. Thank you. Love works. It does work. Love works, and that's what it's all about, right? And love makes you strong. So I want to encourage these kids to use the power of love and say, I love both of you. I'm going to have a relationship with both of you. And know that, you know, if there is a horrible fallout from that, there are people who will help you, okay? So thank you for that. I was hoping I could scroll up and see the other messages, but I don't think I can do that. I can see someone saying that alienated children are appeasing the alienator. For sure, absolutely. I mean, that's what parental alienation is the one parent trying to damage or destroy the relationship that the child has with the other parent, and the child is not rejecting the alienated parent. They're not rejecting the targeted parent. They're rejecting the chaos and the pain and the torment that the alienator inflicts upon them if they have a relationship with the targeted parent. And it's hard for a lot of alienated targeted parents to remember that, because it's very, very painful. But we have to remember that the kids are in more pain than we are. Again, I know that from interviewing these kids and talking to these kids. And they all say deep in their heart they want to talk to the other parent. They want to see the other parent. They're just too afraid of what the alienating parent will do to them. So they are appeasing the alienating parent, as you said, and it's just their coping mechanism. They're just trying to survive this abuse. Again, this is abuse, and they're just trying to survive it. They're just in survival mode. So, well, I went a lot longer than I expected, but so I'm going to go. But thanks everyone for watching, and like I said, thanks for kind of just hanging in there with me today, because like I said, it wasn't really you know, it wasn't scripted. I hadn't really thought it through, but I just had that on my heart that I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to tell you about what my friend is going through, and talk about the ways that you know, if you are a child or a young adult and you're dealing with this, how can you stand up for yourself? What can you say? What can you do to try to get some strength and get some of your, you know, get that love back in your life? You know, love both parents. And like I said, you deserve it. And, you know, maybe say to your alienating parent, you know, don't you love me? Well, why don't you want me to love my other parent? Because I love you both. So thanks again for watching. Be looking for my blog to come back again very soon. Again, that will be targetparent.com. And never hesitate to reach out to me. I would love to hear from any of you. And feel free to share this message wherever you would like to, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You know, if you're in any support groups, please feel free to share. The more awareness and education, the better. We've got to get this message out to the kids that they can stand up for themselves. and they can say, I love you both. I'm going to love you both. And we need to let these kids know that you're going to be okay if you do that. It's very scary, but you're going to be okay. And in the end, you will be free to be yourself and to be loving. You don't have to pretend to hate anybody. You can just have love in your life, and you deserve that. So, all right. Thanks again for watching, you guys. And hi, Jeff, Dwylene, Johnny. All right. Momta. I hope that everybody has a great day. All right. Thanks again. See you soon. Bye.